Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're back again, about to watch some more Narnia, finally. Narnia 2.
Yay.
So this one's called The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. When I looked this up, there were a lot of movies. At least I thought I saw 4. There could just be 3, but I think I saw 4 thumbnails. I'm like, oh, crud. So I wanted to make sure that we were on the right one because we don't want to go out of order. We did that by accident with one of the Transformer films. But thank goodness it was a time jump and it was a different story anyway. So it worked out okay. So it's been a while. A lot of you guys have been requesting this. So thank you. And thank you for sticking by us, because we watch a ton of stuff every week. And we do watch a lot, and it's all request, but it takes a while sometimes for certain requests to actually be seen, because it will always be like that with certain things because there's thousands of requests out there. So anywho, this had been requested probably for close to a year now, and I'm just happy that we're finally getting to it. Some things are a lot faster just depending on popularity and random picks that we do through YouTube and through Patreon. So yeah, we like the first one.
Yeah, it was a nice adventure story.
Yes.
It was a nice adventure story. Love the lion. That was cool. The idea of fantasy where you have mixed animals. And I like Mr. Tumnus. He was cool.
He was really
Love
cool.
Xavier.
Yes.
He was young Xavier.
Yes.
And he was good friends with Lucy. So I'm hoping we'll see him again. I have Wikipedia up right now where I was looking up to see any new people that are going to be in it. We saw Peter Dinklage, and that's exciting. We love him as Tyrion from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
amazing. And Eddie Izzard. Do you guys know Eddie Izzard by any chance? To kind of put you on the spot really quick. Don't worry if not.
Sounds familiar, but I can't picture him.
They don't watch any TV.
I'd have
really.
to see the face.
So he is a comedian, or at least he was. I haven't kept up with it, but back in the day, he used to be a comedian, and he's really, really funny. I think he's English. It's been so long, but I remember his accent being English, and he was just freaking hilarious. No clue who they're going to be playing in this, but let's see. And then other people like Warwick Davis seems really familiar, and Ken Scott. Ooh, he was Balin in the Hobbit film. Yay! Okay, cool. So we don't have a picture up right now, so the name doesn't sound familiar, but at least we won't be like, oh, we know him from somewhere. Because that happens. No, we all do, though, because like when we ever have it in our head where, and you're better with faces than I am, especially when someone's wearing like a lot of prosthetics or just lost a lot of weight, major different haircut or something.
Yeah, Kim recognizes everybody.
Yeah, sometimes it takes me a moment to be like, wait, who's that? But yeah, so it looks like a really big cast. We do have a lot of people from the first film, the main siblings. It ended on a good note, the first movie, and the lion came back. So I'm curious what's going to happen in this one. So it's called Prince Caspian, so maybe he's the new focus, hopefully a good guy.
Yes.
I hope so.
And I believe they said, I think I saw the Ice Queen, who also played Doctor Strange's master. I think she is also in this one. I saw her name at some point. Here she is,
I do too, yeah.
Tilda Swinton. Love her. I think she's amazing in Doctor Strange. I think that's fun.
She's very believable in any role.
She was, yeah. She was good as the Ice Queen. She was really creepy and stuff. So
sure. Yes.
I wonder if they're going to bring her back. Sometimes I'm opposed, like, well, that can go many different ways because I love Darth Vader and stuff, and like that's different. Because if you kill off a villain, a major villain, like don't bring him back. Like whenever they do that, they did do that in Star Wars actually with Palpatine, but he was like an epic villain. So I guess like it just depends on what story you're telling. But certain ones I'm like, why? Like have something new. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. And just to say, Storm here.
No, I'm here.
Kimmy here.
So just put names with faces. A lot of you guys know who we are, but sometimes we do say it a lot better, like a lot more than we used to, though, because in the beginning, many videos, we never actually said who we were. We're just
That's
like,
right,
we're family.
Yes.
Yeah, and you guys are like, oh, this person. So shall we get into Prince Caspian?
Yes.
Shipping baby.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, watch where you're going.
Watch out.
Oh.
Knocked him out. Oh,
Wow.
Oh, and then he gets
dragging
dragged.
No.
way out.
Means you're getting pulled off the wall. Oh, tiles.
Oh, look at it. Oh.
Okay, that's cool.
Wow, what happened?
That's sad. So everyone they know is dead.
Mm.
Someone will save him.
Poor guy.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Oh,
Now kill him. Shoot them. There you go.
good girl.
Where have you been for the last few hundred years?
It's a bit of a long story.
Oh, you alright?
Duck, zigzag.
Oh,
Woohoo!
Man.
boy.
They're like stormtroopers.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, what was that? Woo!
Whoa.
Yeah, I keep hearing that ching ching ching.
Yes.
Oh.
It's a rat?
Oh my god.
Is there a way down?
Yeah, fallen.
Thanks.
Oh,
It's Aslan! It's Aslan over there!
He's like, peekaboo.
Should have. Yeah.
I'm messing with you.
Behind a tree.
Did he stand there and fall? Crap!
Oh.
Probably would have hurt him though.
Go this way.
Pretty. Ooh, it's forming someone.
Ooh.
I'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, they're starting to come
You can slide.
alive. Like they used to be.
I hope he really. Oh, good.
Oh, counting. Oh.
Aslan?
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh,
Phew.
It's just Peter.
my gosh.
See?
Yeah.
Oh.
You'll be friends.
Oh, no.
You summons me.
They don't kill each other. Ow!
Whoops, lift it up.
He wanted her to pay attention to him.
Oh.
Oh.
Mr. Tumnus?
See, they can come from anywhere.
He's friends.
Like, look at that.
Courageous.
Boy,
Ouch.
that's a good way to do it.
It's gonna hurt.
Just ram him with your horns. Oh, of course a
goodness,
cat.
the cat.
Oh
Oh
my gosh, no.
No, you don't want to mess with these mice.
no. Oh.
Oh,
it's so cute.
That's pretty silly.
That is so cute.
Oh,
Oh my god.
surprise.
Oh, he's laughing.
Ooh, she's paying attention to him.
Get,
Oh,
oh.
say I wasn't paying attention to her.
Want to do this?
Oh,
Strong.
pretty.
Boy, I guess so. Ooh, look at those
Come on, guys.
Wow.
I'd be like, oh crap.
Oh, yeah.
They're quite amazing. I love
Yeah.
it. Uh-oh, that's not good. Fish in a barrel.
No. Oh, yeah.
These guys.
Whoa.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, well now they have to reload. It takes a second.
Oh.
Ugh.
Aw.
Oh. Oh.
Ooh.
Kind of. Thank you for the landing. Oh no, they're gonna go after
Do
Oh,
him.
something.
no.
Don't go after him.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
you can only hold
fuck's
it for so much longer.
Oh, boy, I'm gonna, I'm
Hero.
Strength.
gonna get him. Oh, jeez.
I know. Say keep fighting, guys. Keep fighting. You gotta. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh, the Ice Queen.
Oh no.
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 Oh, oh,
No.
oh, oh, ow, 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 ow.
Gosh.
oh no.
No. Don't.
Oh, God.
No.
Why? Was he tempted?
Oh,
Whoop.
good. What
Came from behind.
How'd that? Yeah.
You had it sorted.
Here to save the day. Thank you.
That space did look like a perfect battlefield.
Oh boy.
Why don't you hold on to it? You might need to call me again.
You have my number. Do the thing. You jerk.
Understood, Your Majesty.
Do it to him instead. Darn it.
Oh no. Yay! I was gonna joke and be like,
Yay,
my
got
prince!
knight in shining
But he
armor.
did show.
Oh.
His helmet fell off.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, good.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Ooh, he's just going
Then-
full in brutal. Yeah.
Oh.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh.
Oh, I was hoping that the other guy would do that. Ram right into the
I
stone.
gonna step in. Ooh, so
Oh, he
close.
grabbed it. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Gonna swipe him.
Oh.
Oh, he's getting his sword. Watch out.
Ooh, dodge.
Oh. Oh.
Now's not the time for chivalry, Peter.
That's
You
right.
won't be able to kill him.
Oh,
Too cowardly to take a life.
Oh.
It's not mine to take.
oh, Caspian, come on.
Oh.
Oh,
He's gonna
I-
grab that right
I
there.
hope he does it quick.
Hurry up, because you got a sword right there.
Oh, no.
Oh. It's not good. Oh, once it's over. Ooh, that's over with.
He's been dying to do that.
I guess so. It's over now. Oh, jeez.
Whoa, took a head off?
Ooh.
Okay.
Are they taking the whole place down?
No.
Oh, underneath them? Oh, how cool.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Aha. Awesome.
Woohoo, and a tiger.
Yeah.
Oh, from behind.
Woohoo. Ah, smart.
Ah, from above. Great. Ciao, guys. They can get you
Oh,
too.
God.
Oh, jeez. Oh, it's going to collapse before they even get there.
Oh, okay.
Stop.
No, no, no. Don't go in. Don't go in.
Oh,
Ah, yes.
oh, okay. Oh,
I'm going to go crap.
oh, okay.
No, he's so brave.
Yes, he is.
What? Oh, the tree got him. Ooh.
What?
He hesitated, though. That was good.
Oh,
Yep.
my goodness, look at that.
Take that.
Oh,
take
crap.
that. Yeah, you better run.
And it's time to leave. Right when the trees come in, yeah.
Yeah.
I am Groot.
Oh,
Get the root of that problem out
Wow.
of there. Good.
yeah.
Ah. What? Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Tidal wave.
Oh,
Crap. Is that going to crash into them? It's like, I'm going to pick you up. Crap. Oh, yep.
that's it.
Aw.
I love him. A kiss. Woo!
Oh, my goodness.
And they're like, do we applaud? What do we do? Aw. Right back where they were. In their outfits.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I will let the credits roll just in case if there's a cut scene. And what did you guys think?
I loved it. I loved it. It was a
really
great
good.
story. I loved them going back to Narnia, and we were just wondering how that happened, all the rubble and just all the ruins. And it was great to follow through with what
Yes,
really
it was,
happened
yes.
and what could happen. It was looking really bleak for Prince Caspian, but it was beautiful. Everyone
turned
got
out
together.
fine.
All of Narnia came back and really saved the day.
I
That's
really
really good.
love the imagination behind it. It's a lot of fun that way. They have mythological creatures, and then they have just smart animals that can talk, but they're just,
like that.
not that they're just animals, but they're on all fours, and there's nothing different about them besides being intelligent and can actually vocalize,
right, yeah.
you know?
Right, and you don't have to be a big animal to
That's true. You could be a mouse.
Yeah, it could be a mouse. Like, I love the idea of the scale.
That was good.
So that was a lot of fun. One thing
Yes.
that really surprised me, but it worked, was I felt really sad that so much time went by.
I
Because,
didn't realize until they said, "Wow, so many years."
yeah, hundreds of years, right? Like, she's
Hundreds,
1,300 years
yes.
old.
Got
But
1,500 or
it really
something.
made me sad because they made so many friends way back in Narnia, the first movie, and to see all them gone, like, it's not even fresh. Like, they've been gone forever. Everything's destroyed in ruins, and it took me a while to really absorb that because I knew it, but I was like, holy crap, like, that really sucks. Like, all the characters we loved are dead now.
That's right.
So, wow. One thing I was worried about, which I'm happy they didn't do, was the Ice Queen. They had her in this,
Oh,
but
I'm
I'm
so
so
glad.
glad.
She wasn't a big part of it.
Yes, it was.
because in the intro we looked on Wikipedia and they were showing all the names, and we try not to read anything else besides the cast, and we saw her in it again, and I love her as an actress. Love her in the first movie, but in Doctor Strange, and in this one I'm like, please don't make her the main villain again, because when you do that sometimes it's like the same kind of story, like you can't
That's
think
right.
of anything different. So this was way better, but it was well done how they brought her back just to show that there is a way she can come back, but it was a small part. Like,
Yes.
that was kind of neat to be like,
Thank
holy
goodness.
crap. Yeah.
Yes, and it was very tempting. It was good that it had a temptation for the prince to see if he should go that way, to do whatever he could to kill his uncle.
Yeah.
And
And she was good at that, like persuasion, like the magic or dark magic she possesses. Like, even Peter was like, oh, like
gonna
everyone
say,
just
yes,
gets kind
she
of
was
like
really-
drunk by it, and it was crazy. So Ed, like, he really stepped up again. Like, I really enjoyed his character a lot more in this one. They were younger in the first one. This was the first time they went to Narnia, and a lot of messed up things where he was just learning and with the Ice Queen the whole time, which really sucked. But he did learn. He came full circle, which was nice. But
he
I
did.
love him with his siblings. Everyone's true, working together. Some arguments here and there, but nothing major.
That's right.
And they really worked well together. So that was really cool. And Ed really stepped it up and actually took out the Ice Queen, which was awesome. So
Oh, that was really good.
yeah, so haha to
fantastic.
him doing that. So after the whole time jump thing, I had to remember like about the imagination of it, and here it's all about magic and hope, right? So you have these four main characters that are only summoned to Narnia when they're needed because they're fated to be there. Like, you hear these myths, these legends, these stories that they're the chosen ones to help protect and bring Narnia back. Bring peace back to
That's right,
everyone.
yes.
So that was awesome. So that really stretched it out even more, where it's not in one timeline. It's whenever Narnia needs you. So it shows how important they are. It wasn't just one lifetime role. So
right. Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
interesting and fun.
It's something. Yeah,
It
really
was.
good.
I
That's
loved
very
all
good.
the friends along the way,
Oh,
and all
that's
of it.
right.
They were so
That's
loyal,
right.
and Trumpkin was, I mean, he was adorable. We love him as Tyrion, but he was just
Yes, yeah.
I kept
Old
seeing him
softy
after
at
that. Like, all the makeup and stuff that he
Yes,
had.
my
And,
God.
his, like, forehead was extended. And
Yeah.
his makeup was really well done. But I just kept seeing Tyrion the whole time. Like,
Yes,
I love
yes.
Peter Dinklage so
Yeah.
much. And it was great that Lucy found a friend again. Not that he replaced Tumnus, but I kind of had that feeling. I felt bad about him passing. Like, it's been too long now. Such a
Yeah.
huge gap again. But her finding another wonderful friendship, because she's just that
I'm
kind
so
of person.
glad.
Lucy
She
has a
is.
connection with
Yes.
everyone.
That's
A really
right.
nice one.
even with the mouse. I forget his name, but
Oh, he was.
I know they showed his
Even
name
with
again,
him.
but I loved him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really cute. And
Yeah.
what you said before during the battle, one of the earlier battles, that it's true, Narnia, even though they did have the numbers, the other army had a lot more people. And you would think with all these different creatures, all these different animals, that they have advantages that humans and horses don't have. And we saw
Right.
that with the mice. So that was actually really cool to see.
Underground,
Right,
above
underground,
ground.
that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
All in
that
between,
terrain, yeah, well, that was a
Oh.
terrain that they really had in the second battle, which was really
Yeah, that was
amazing to use because we didn't even see that coming. Like we were joking saying
No.
that the field was just a perfect layout for a battle. But
It was.
maybe, you know, it was just like that anyways, and they were thinking, oh, well, let's make tunnels down here just in case, you know, that's our last resort to
Yeah,
take out
must
the
have.
enemy if they're ever attacked. I mean, I know it's a lot of thinking involved, but you have to think that way if, you know, you're at war with other kingdoms.
Right, you have to think outside the box.
Yeah.
For sure,
So
yeah.
seeing all these animals, like even the big bear that was there, I was like, holy crap, like I don't want to mess with him.
God.
And you have all these mythological creatures that also, it's just amazing like how many different kinds you have.
That's
Because
right.
you have like the half human, half horse. You have the fawns that just have like the fawn legs.
And I like
You
the-
have
like like the badger too. He was really
the
good.
badger. So you have like the more
Yeah.
normal type animals,
That's
but
right.
even then there's no limit because bringing up the badger, I know it was for his character too, but he was standing on his hind legs mainly walking,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we
Yeah.
saw a lot of leopards, tigers, all kinds of cats. We saw some wolves,
Mm-hmm.
but they were always on all fours. They weren't standing up like that.
right.
So you have
Mm-hmm.
all these in-between type creatures. So it really expands it where sometimes, you know, just to touch a little bit on that, like it expands it so much that it's hard to associate sometimes with limitations because there are none really when it comes to all these different creatures, which sometimes makes it hard because then you're like, at least I was thinking, like I was worried for the characters and it is a kid's story. So I was like, oh, okay, well, something's going to happen to make it work because when you have something so open-minded, like you have all these different creatures, what else is going to happen? Like we know the trees are magical, so of course the trees are going to come in at the end and save the day and just wipe
course.
out everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
It happened in Lord of the Rings too, though. You know, very a little different than that, but it was a lot of
That's
fun.
good.
So as a kids movie, the fantasy was great, and I love the idea of hope. And I have
And
to
it was
say,
a little bit of
Okay.
a love story.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah,
they didn't
Just a
focus
touch.
too
I'm
much.
I am too.
And so yeah.
Especially when the prince went back to the tomb and was right in front of her drawing on the wall. And he's just, you know, like looking at her like maybe,
Yeah, right.
you know, like he did love her.
Yeah, and that is sweet. It's a wonderful romance, and you know, prince and queen. Like, how perfect is that? And I think it actually worked out better at the end that they were apart. Like, it really made me sad. I was like, oh no, because it was too predictable. They were going to end up together. And I'm glad they didn't fully focus on that because I do love romance, but there was so much going on with just war and peace that, like, if they threw that in too much, it was just going to add too much more. Like, there was,
Yes,
it's
it would have
already
been
a long
too
movie.
rushed for Susan
Yeah.
to change her mind and go to him.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
That's right.
It would have been too rushed.
So keeping it subtle and then
That's good.
having quick moments of chivalry with him saving her and her being a strong woman too. Like, she's great with archery.
Oh,
And
definitely,
she used
yes.
every single arrow like right on the mark,
Yeah, she
killing
sure
those
did.
people or knocking
Yes.
them off their horse. Like, you have to, because how many did she have? So she had
Right.
to
It
use
was like an
every
endless
single
supply.
one.
Yes, to make sure.
Yeah, she used like 6 or 7. She had like 1 left, and then it was like that's when the prince came in. So she was lucky there. But jokingly,
Yes.
thinking of Lord of the Rings, and Legolas always had like not always an unlimited supply, but
Yeah.
Yes.
but like he had
Very
epic
usually.
moves and stuff. But yeah, so I think it had a good mix of everything. And what did you think about Aslan like coming in at the end?
Oh, I thought.
Oh,
that
I'm
was
so
great.
happy.
I'm so happy.
Because
for
I
him.
didn't know how it was going to happen. I mean, what was.
I had a
what was
feeling
gonna-
he had to be there someplace because, you know, she saw him before, but Lucy only saw him. And then
So
nobody
why do you
else
think
saw
he
him.
did that? Why do you think he only came to her, and like it wasn't until the last moment?
Because they had to believe in themselves.
Yeah. Probably.
So I think there's many ways you could probably take that. And guys, I always love hearing your opinions as well, and those who read the books, because we didn't read the books. But I know things don't happen twice, like he was saying. And he is so magical, so powerful, that it would be too easy if he shows up and then people don't learn anything. They're just like, bring in the big lion and he could take out everything. So yeah, I think
yeah.
people have to fight, defend themselves, understand, learn from things. And so it was fun having him come in at the end. I kind of assumed he would, especially when Lucy first said, I saw him, Aslan, he's
Yeah.
crossed the way, there he is.
That's
Now,
true. Yeah.
did you believe her when she said that initially?
Yes.
I thought you would. Yeah, I thought you would definitely saw him.
Yeah, and I did too, because it happened in the first one too, where no one really believed her when she was telling them about Narnia.
Right,
And I'm like,
Edmund
come on,
said,
guys.
I made a mistake. I should have believed you.
Yeah. And I'm like,
See?
you guys have to learn. So it didn't last long, thank goodness. I mean, they didn't like push it too much after that. Like Peter was questioning it a little bit, but it didn't go on for a long time. And then she just said, oh, I told you so. I did see him. Like, what do you think now? But it wasn't like a major thing, because in the first movie, they learned all that together because they completely just didn't trust each other all the time. And I was like, don't do that again to them. I mean, they already grew up in Narnia once and were full adults. So they matured a lot, learned a lot. And I know they reversed and went back to kids in the present time, the real world. But I was like, you know, did you forget a lot of stuff that happened last time? Apparently they didn't. When they went back, they remembered certain areas of the ruins. Like, oh, yeah, this is where the glass was and the pillars. And But I was like, you guys are probably a lot wiser now. And even though they made remarks like that, and yes, they're still kids, but they were still acting a lot like kids a year back in the real world than like all the lessons and stuff that they matured with in Narnia in the first movie. So anyways, it was just an interesting conflict. I was like, oh, okay, like that was kind of hard to get used to a little bit, but I'm glad it didn't last long. And I did trust Lucy with seeing Aslan, and I think he didn't show up to the end because it would have been too easy to have more of him. But it was a little frustrating to me because it was important for Lucy to only see him for some reason, because everyone else had to do their own thing. And I guess if you just depend on one creature, you're going to like lose. But I was kind of frustrated that he would be like, peekaboo, here I am, Lucy, just kidding, you know, just so, you know, everyone would kind of test it and be like, what the heck, you know, make her look crazy. But I understand. I thought it was good build up, and it was a good reveal at the end that he was back.
It's good.
Yeah, and I think it was good for Peter not to have that happen. He didn't think he was going to see Aslan, and I think he needed to learn a lot too. And he learned a couple of lessons that you can't fight just one person like the king. He was just after that king, and just it wasn't for the right reasons, I felt. So and even with the conflict with the prince, he needed to go through that, and I think Aslan knew that.
Yeah, so
He
I
could have
agree.
jumped in any time.
So everything has a purpose. Sacrifices are going to be made because that's what happens, and you know, you got to defend your own and understand what's right. And yeah, so I think it was just like how it had to be. And Lucy trying to find Aslan maybe even brought him back. Maybe he didn't have full control of just reappearing. You know, maybe it just had to be at the right moment of Lucy desperately trying to find him. And then the only way for her to survive was when he protected her, right when she actually did physically see him at the end, and he got the guy on the horse. So maybe it's just all fated, you know, like it's all just meant to be that way.
Yeah, and Peter learned a lesson. He didn't kill the king. He let the prince do it. And the prince said, no, we have to stop it. So it was a good lesson for everyone.
Yeah, and
although
it was
backfired on that lord.
And in front of everyone too, it was really good because they're showing they're good leaders. And even though when you are going against someone cheating, a really bad person, like you just want to end that because you don't want that to come back later. But they were showing how good they were, where they actually would show mercy. They like, well, first of all, Peter won the battle, and he had every chance. Like, he already wounded him, and I really thought that it was like a fatal wound, but then like it wasn't. And I thought he was just going to let him bleed out, and that way he was like showing him mercy, but he didn't know it was fatal, and then he was just going to slowly like collapse afterwards. But I'm glad he showed the whole kingdom that he was merciful, and he didn't want to just take him out just to do it, and giving Caspian the chance to actually, you know, take care of it himself, because he had every right to after what was done to him. You know, he decided not to as well. So it showed both kings have mercy, that it wasn't about that. And spoiler alert, looks like Caspian's in the next one. Is that him?
Looks like him.
See, spoiler alert for the next. Oh, it says, oh, well, because you watched Prince Narnia.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just saw a spoiler alert for the third one. So I guess he does come back, because I like how this one ended again, because Caspian and Susan went their separate ways, because it made it more real. And I'm like, okay, because they're only summoned. Because now for her to stay after last time when they were just, I think they were pushed out, right? Like they were curious about something when they were adults, and then they ended up going through the wardrobe again, and like, what the heck? And then they couldn't go back. So I'm like, for her to now have the decision to stay after they had full lives in Narnia, like that was ripped away from them. So why now would it be okay for her to stay with Caspian. So that wouldn't make
Yes.
sense magic-wise. So I'm glad they split up. But now seeing a quick spoiler for the third movie, because we're watching it Disney Plus, and it showed a big thumbnail where I saw Caspian again with our crew. So looks like he will be back.
Didn't Peter say just the 2 younger ones can go back? Their time was over.
Yeah.
So,
It's amazing, like they just know, like the magic, I guess they just know, or maybe even Aslan told them that or something while they were in discussion, because a few times they were hanging out and just talking where we couldn't hear them. But yeah, so overall I think it was a fun movie, and I love the adventure, the fantasy. This must have been a great kids movie for a lot of young kids. I mean, just feeling like you have these kids that are royalty, that have gone through so much, and they're epic warriors, and everybody worships them. Like, that must be such a fun feeling, being like, yeah. Because, again, like, I know you can nitpick a lot of things, but I think it's a fun idea. And putting myself in, like, a kid's shoes, I can be like, yo, this would be so exciting if I was young watching this, you know? So I love that idea, because it really gives them motivation. It gives them like something exciting and adventurous, and you get to like dream and like make up stories.
Yeah, and they all have their own way of getting around and making things work for the team, for everyone. For
like their own special talents and stuff.
Yes.
And it was fun that Pete and Ed were both really good swordsmen. Then you have Susan, who's a great archer, and then we have Lucy, who can really connect and speak with everyone, like, you know, make friends and connect with animals, and she has like dreams, and you know, fun. I like it.
It was. I liked it too. It was really nice.
Yeah, and then
Good
the
story.
creepy characters too. Like you have like an expansion of the world where you just have all these different kinds of creatures that there's no limitations there. And we had a werewolf, you know, weird, but we've seen a lot of those weird creatures from the first one.
That goblin, that ghoulish kind of character.
So I guess when the evil takes over, like when the Ice Queen was in charge, we had a lot of those evil zombie-like, I mean, they weren't zombies, but you know, those really decaying looking creatures. I mean, we would have humanoid type ones, but like they were more grotesque and very different from anything else. It wasn't just like they were old or something. They were just monsters almost, you know.
That's right.
So that was really creepy. But overall, I really liked it. Did you guys like the first one or the second one, this one, better?
I like the first one better.
Yeah, first ones are usually good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this one.
This one was good too, but I like the first one better.
Only because they were established pretty much, and they knew, you know, their surroundings eventually, and they got to know new friends and connect with old.
You know, thinking about it too, because usually we like the first movie better. A couple times though, we've watched things where I like the second one better, and this one is one of those cases where, even though they still had kid moments, they were more mature than the first one. They were set in their roles, and they did trust each other for the most part. I know before I said, oh, well, they weren't trusting Lucy and stuff, but that was short-lived. And for the most part, they really did honor and trust each other, worked well together, were great in battle. The first one was a little hard for me because it was still entertaining, but for Peter to learn all that and to learn how to fight and everything in such a short amount of time in the first one, and then just go right out and just battle with his heavy sword and shield. I mean, he did go through heavy training for a short time, but it was kind of hard for me to accept, like, how is he really going to be able to do this? But in this one, with that training, and then he had a lifetime in the first movie at the end when he grew up of like swordsmanship, being a king, and so now it's more believable to me that he and his siblings have all this experience. So just having that knowledge, like, I think that was fun. The only nitpick that I really had with that was when he was fighting sword to sword with the other guy, and even though he has all that, I guess, muscle memory, he's still a young kid again, and it looks like he reverted back to his normal self when he first left Narnia. So all that muscle memory he trained from the first one in that lifetime, like, he wouldn't have it in his reset body in the present time. So even him still having the knowledge of it, it would be hard to have the muscle memory and even just the strength. He looks like a healthy, strong kid, but to go against this big guy, I don't care if he's older, you know he's war ready, that he's been in many many battles.
And he had
So-
all that
Yeah,
armor
right
on.
there.
and
Yeah, and I was just
Peter
like,
had
Oh, yes.
nothing on his torso or his back.
yeah, so just the brute strength of everything. I mean,
Yeah.
Peter kept getting
Oh,
up. It was a
yeah.
good fight, but you have to kind of let that realistic part, like, you know, leave you for a moment because, again, like, he had the experience of his older life, but he's in his reset body, so the strength and
right.
stuff I wouldn't think would be there to actually take on another warrior, you know? But the battle was cool to watch. It was,
It was good.
it was
yeah.
It
fun.
was. I really enjoyed Ed's character too. He really surpassed what I thought he was going to do this time.
I agree.
Very much so.
I enjoyed his character. And
He
Prince
grew up a
Caspian,
lot.
yeah, he grew up a lot. He
Okay.
was great. I enjoyed him so much more in this movie. And Prince Caspian, I felt bad for him, but I really liked his character because he came a long way because there was
Yes, he
nothing
did.
ever wrong with him. Like, he had to learn a lot, but it wasn't like he was a bad person from the start or just messed up
No,
from the
you're
start.
right.
He had to learn
Definitely
from
not.
that. Like, he was always kind-hearted and he was trying to survive in the beginning. He said the right stuff when he actually tripped over and, like, met Narnians and knew how to talk and negotiate things. And so I really like his
yeah.
character was pretty straightforward. And even though he was strong, he had respectful, almost meek moments when it came to Peter, like royalty, like anyone that was a king, like, oh, you're higher up than me, okay, whatever you have to say. He would speak out of turn, but it was really showing his character that he did have respect for certain things all the way through. And I felt bad for him because he really did have a lot of good points in the way Peter got, but that's his character where he just gets stubborn and he gets set in his ways, and he's always been like that. So he was kind of frustrating me a little bit, and then he would yell at Prince Caspian, and I'm like, you know what, Prince Caspian does have really good points too, and I'm like, you get way too angry and you have to chill and like listen to what he has to say. But everyone's always learning. I love Prince Caspian and what he went through, and I think he is the rightful ruler, of course, and he will be good for the kingdom.
I do too.
I
And
do too.
I want to add that thank God for the professor because
Oh,
he
yes.
gave him all the knowledge from what
Yeah.
he could know. He wanted to tell him so much more, probably about his personal life, you know, adding from his father's death and all that. But he gave him so much more for, you know, being the scholar that he is. So that's why he was so respectful to royalty and to others, and
Yeah.
he knew the history of Narnia. So
So thank
That
God he
was
had his professor. That
very
was awesome.
good. Yes.
That's right. Thank goodness
So-
he wasn't killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really thought he was
For
done in the
sure.
beginning
I
when he
thought
just
so,
stayed
too.
behind. I'm like, obviously
Yes.
they're going to think that was you. And just to bring that up in the beginning too, I mean, innocently you don't want to think like that, like Prince Caspian and his professor like didn't tell him anything. But I'm like, here your aunt's pregnant. If they were thinking about this coup, I guess for a while, and it seemed like she knew, like she seemed
Yes.
oblivious when, you know, Caspian came back and had the sword against his uncle's throat. But, you know, she's like, oh, what do you mean? I thought your brother died in his sleep or whatever she said. Like he actually killed him. So she was oblivious there. So I was kind of hoping that she had no clue what was going on. But you can't be that airheaded to be like, okay. And he went missing, ironically, right when you gave birth.
Yeah, at the same
right.
day.
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
looking
come
at
on.
him when like all these troops are coming back. Like, why do you need so many like armored troops to go return with him? So I think in a way that she was kind of aware of what her husband was doing there. Maybe not about, you know, killing his brother, but at least about Caspian. So I thought Caspian would be more aware, or just think like, oh, well, I don't know. Like, I just felt like he should know a little bit more, or the professor should have, you know, said something.
I think he
Yeah,
should have
sure.
said something
He
right
should,
off the bat, but
definitely.
maybe he didn't want to have ill feelings. Well, he couldn't have told him because, gosh, would you want to stay in that castle if you knew your uncle killed your father?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it was
that's
probably the
scary.
perfect time. He probably knew, knowing Narnia, maybe he knows fate and all that, that he had to tell him right at that moment to set everything in
Yes.
action. But I was kind of like, why couldn't you just hint or something? Because either way, they're going to kill you. And luckily he got to him right when he did, because then they shot up his bed. So it was like,
Oh my
you know, talk
gosh,
about
yes.
timing.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I am glad he survived. And now that so many generations have passed, I'm curious if the professor guy, like if he was a relative down the line, because knowing so much about Narnia that we're supposed to know, like someone way back from like the first movie, like generations later of a certain line.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
makes you
maybe.
wonder.
And maybe
Maybe.
that's why the king didn't kill him, because he was just having that tiny bit of respect for family.
Yeah, maybe. I know. Maybe just a little bit.
Because they need them for something.
Yeah. So, guys, if we miss anything about, like, lineage, you know, I love the idea on how different things are in Narnia, as sad as it was. Like, people that were enemies before now rule the whole area, but they're not all bad. And it was just interesting. I'm like, wow, it shows you how much time changes things. You know, like you win a war and then it builds up to another war later. But you always have to try to find ways to maintain peace. So.
That's right.
One thing,
Narnia's alive.
yeah, and one last thing that really shocked me too was I was really expecting going through the wardrobe again, not like just all of a sudden get sucked into the world.
Yes,
you know?
as the horns blown.
Yeah. But that was cool, and it was very different. It was creative. I was thinking kind of Harry Potter, just being with the train.
I was too.
Yeah, and I'm like,
The
oh
train,
boy,
yes.
Yeah,
three quarters, just like. But you know, them just standing there. I was kind of hoping that they would be like, oh, and they would see the wind, and then like tiles would start breaking apart, and they would kind of go around a corner and kind of reach in and fall in or something, instead of just like magically appearing, because there was more effort in the first movie where they had to meet the magic halfway, to kind of break that border.
That's right, yeah.
But this one was just like, hey, doesn't matter, you're going now, bing, and then everything just changes for them. So just like transports them there, no problem. So that was fun, but I kind of wish there was more search on the kids' part to get there, to make it more interesting. Like, ooh, but this was my favorite movie out of the two that we've seen so far, and we'll see if you guys request the third one. And who knows, we might see that sooner than later. It all just depends on you guys, if you're going to vote on it, how many requests we get for it. You can vote on our Patreon, usually every Monday. One Monday a month we don't have polls, but every other Monday we do. How's your cheetah friend, Mom? We have cheetahs.
Oh, yes.
We don't have lions.
He's kind of big.
I do have Simba over there. But
He's been behaving himself.
yeah, I know. He's huge next to you, Mom. So we do have merchandise, guys. If you want to check out our store, you might see links below, depending on where you're watching, or you'll see pictures that you can click on. We have shirts, we have mugs. We're going to have more designs as we go. Whatever you get there helps support our channel so we can create more videos. You can check out our Patreon to see content a week early. Usually anything you see on YouTube is a week early on our Patreon as a full reaction, and that also helps us out a lot. And a lot of our patrons on there are awesome. They stick by us all the time and love you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon as always. Bye, guys.
Bye.